All right, let me get to the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who is not saying when this investigation into Abrego Garcia was opened, but Abrego Garcia, we know, was deported in March. So I'm curious, Brian, what you make of the timeline. And given the way the government has handled Abrego Garcia's case, both in the courts and the way it's played out in the media, is that going to play into his defense, do you think?
I mean, I can't say for sure. As I mentioned, we do not represent him on the criminal side.
It can't play into his defense because it has nothing to do with why he's there. You want to talk about deportation? We're talking about his criminal charges. So if you try to talk anything about a deportation case, we'll just look at you and be like, yeah, sorry, but what was it? Objection?
And I can't speak to that. I'm not a criminal attorney, but the timing is certainly suspect. And another issue of timing, obviously, is just yesterday, the same day that this indictment is announced, the chief of the criminal division in the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee resigned. I think that that's telling all on its own.
All right. Now, look, and I'm going to ask one more question. And granted, I know you're not a criminal attorney, but just your sense of the law here, because the Washington Post points out at yesterday's conference, Bondi also took the unusual step of publicly accusing Abrego Garcia of other uncharged crimes, including soliciting nude photos of a minor and playing a role in the murder of a rival gang member's mother. Asked why, if prosecutors had evidence to back up those claims, they had not pursued a case in court, Bondi sidestepped the question. So just big picture, what do you make of these accusations and their credibility?
Zero credibility. This administration has proven to have zero credibility across the board.
Oh my God, these guys are insane. This says zero credibility, even though it was indicted by a grand jury who was an unbiased group of people or citizens who don't have no beholdens to the prosecutor or the judge, and they made this decision. So it is a bit wild how I'm hearing this man says, yeah, there's no credibility. I mean, there's a group of people who looked over this evidence and said, yeah, there's substantial evidence to hit this man with federal charges on human smuggling. To say there's no credibility is intellectually dishonest, and he is a lawyer. Knowing the court process, knowing the indictment process, saying this.
Board, the key word in what you just read was uncharged. They throw in everything they can at Kilmar to win the political war, and that is shameful when this is a real legal matter and a real person's life.